Okay, let's start the Annie video. The Dark Child. Damage is definitely magic. The style is without a doubt fully magic. Um, Damage is without a doubt full. Honestly, I might want to increase the toughness just because of her E. Um, I guess that I don't know. I guess like her E would do more utility than defense, so I guess I can understand that. Mobility is completely right, and crowd control is completely right, which is a problem. The difficulty is also completely right, and this is also a big reason why I want her like reworked. I think that all or most champions that have like a difficulty of 1 should be not like reworked, but changed in a way that yeah, they're still easy, but there's ways to play them better. I guess then technically they're not difficulty 1, but at the same time they still would be, because at like a stale level, like I just want counterplay options is basically the main plan. Okay, but let's go with her lore real fast. Dangerous yet disarmingly precautious, Annie is a child mage with immense pyrokinetic power. Even in the shadow of the mountains north of Noxus, she is a magical outlier. Her natural affinity of fire manifested early in life through unpredictable emotional outbursts, though she eventually learned to control these tricks. Her favorite includes the summoning of her beloved teddy bear, Tibbers. As a furry beast, hell-bent on destruction, lost in the perpetual innocence of childhood, Annie wanders the dark forest, always looking for someone to play with. I don't really like that lore, not gonna lie. Her passive, which, Pyromania. After casting Force Spells, Annie's next offensive spell will stun the target for a short duration. Disintegrate. Annie hurls a mana-infused fireball, dealing damage and refunding the mana cost if it destroys the target. Incinerate. Annie casts a blazing cone of fire, dealing damage to all enemies in the area. Molten Shield. Annie grants Annie and Tibbers increased percentage damage resist and damages enemies who attack with basic attacks. Summon Tibbers. Annie wills her bear Tibbers to life, dealing damage to units in the area. Tibbers can attack and also burn enemies that stand near him. Okay. Annie is one of the first starting out champions that I hate with a burning passion. She is the most simple thing to play. There's only like one way to play her, and I think that she's both overpowered and underpowered at the same time. I think that yeah, she can just be completely destroyed, because in like essence she is a mage. If someone gets on top of her and she can't stun them, she will have a very difficult time. And she is also like a secondary assassin, I believe, where yet again, where she can hurt you, but she can't get really like take much damage herself. But yet there's a whole lot of mage items out there that allow people to build health, preventing them from dying. But yeah, that's a different story. And I really hate her kit. The number one thing that I hate about her kit, that I hate with all champion kits, if they even have it, is a point and click stun. She not only has a point and click stun, but it's an AoE point and click stun. Or she has two AoE point and click stuns, like both her W and her R. I guess the W really isn't point and click, but it still is just like an AoE stun in front of her that is very easy, and like the range is impossible to like tell. Honestly, you have no idea. You can't tell at all. Her Q is just a flat out point and click stun, only with her passive though. This is involving her passive. And then her R is just a point and click. That's the area that is just completely ridiculous. Now, yes, this is only from her passive, which is like after using 3 abilities, her 4th one stuns. And that one passive turns her overview, as you see here, into full crowd control. Like, no one has that much just from technically one thing giving it to them, because everything on her becomes a stun. And I think it is ridiculous. Like, that is the number one thing I hate about her. But another thing is, like, Tibbers is a giant part of her kit. Like, she even says, like, that's her favorite thing to do is only summon, like, her Tibbers and stuff like that. I think that he should have a bigger role in her kit. And that he shouldn't just be her ultimate, even though, it's up 40 seconds, so might as well not even have a cooldown. But, I don't think that that's what he should be. Okay, now I'm just going to mention a whole lot of different changes. First and foremost, if they're going to do anything, make her summon Tibbers not instant. It has no nothing she does has cast time. It's summon. It's like, if anything, it's 0.25 of a second. Like, if you can dodge something at 0.25, then please send me a clip. I'll give you $1,000. No, I don't mean accidentally. I mean specifically trying to dodge. Like, if you happen to flash at the same time, okay. If you flash as it's happening because you know it's about to happen, or like you see the they like cast starts, then okay. But there you go. So I think that if they're going to do anything at all and they're going to keep the passive the way that it is, they should make Tibbers spawn like Daisy from Ivern. Ivern spawns, his ult is Daisy, which is literally just a Tibbers but with a different skin. Where instead of just doing it like instantly spawning Daisy on top of people, he like ropes attached to basically his hands from behind him, and then he launches Daisy out. If Tibbers like launched out from Annie and then landed, okay, that gives some counterplay because you can dodge that. Like, yeah, you still can't dodge the Q stun and it's still point and click, but at least like you can dodge Tibbers now. Tibbers currently just bam, the bear's on top of your face, you're stunned for like 2 seconds, she just W and Q'd you, and now bear's smacking the hell out of you, plus doing bonus AoE damage around him because, that's just part of his passive. And just, it's ridiculous. Oh, man, is it just ridiculous. Just when you just get Tibbers on your face and there's literally nothing you can do. There's no counterplay option. There is nothing. There is, okay, as soon as the stun's over, I'm going to flash. That is the counterplay. Oh, I don't have flash. I'm going to die. Like, yeah, I understand there's counterplay and, like, the sense of while you're in Champ Select, you can potentially pick someone that that can't like have that happen to them, or something along that end, or like there is counterplay like for specific champions, but I want counterplay in general, not for only Echo, who can ult her ult like after the stun ends, he can just ult and it's like it never happened, or Ahri, or after being ulted she can dash away, but like even Ahri can just be one shot because Annie's damage is ridiculous. So that's just like the bare minimum of what I want to happen. Now, when it comes to like an actual rework, what I wish that they did is that they changed her passive to her ult. And I wish that like either it just has a time frame or he's always up or something. And I want Tibbers to literally, for her to be like 2 champions in one, basically. And it'll be like when she spawns, Tibber spawns. And he'll just be like there walking with her. He will attack enemies that she attacks and stuff like that. He won't like just freely hit minions. He'll only hit minions if like she doesn't kill it. Type deal. And things like that. And every time she activates an ability, like Tibber has his own ability that like will activate for him. Now, of course, this will mean like Tibbers will probably be poked a lot. Because, yeah, like let's say you're up against a Xerath and he constantly is just queuing Tibbers just because he wants Tibbers dead. Like killing Tibbers will of course give like, not like 100 gold or anything stupid, but give like just 10 gold, like higher than the average thing. Like every time you kill like a Malzahar thing, it's like 5. So, just maybe more than that, maybe like 20 gold, 25. Give 25 gold for killing him because he'll have like whatever at level 1, maybe he'll have 1,000 HP. He'll have like above average HP. Now, obviously, that means you won't be able to control him. Like, he'll just walk around and he'll only hit things that you hit. And if you back up, then he'll, of course, like, follow and try to back up. If you go in, then he'll go in, stuff like that. So the AI that they'll have to do with it will be pretty good. It will have to be pretty smart. And then, of course, as I was saying, like before, when Tibbers dies, they'll give, like, 25 gold. And I'm not quite sure how I would want it to respawn. I'd say it should either respawn after, like, doing so many abilities afterward, or, like, kind of like Shyvana, where like just she'll slowly build up a bar, and every time she uses an ability, the bar will fill up a little bit faster, kind of like a Fury bar. Now Shyvana, it's every time she auto attacks, the bar fills up a little bit faster or gets a little bit extra. And basically that's how I kind of wish it to be. And then like just when the bar gets max, your next ability turns into Tibbers, where you'll launch him out, as I was saying with Daisy. You won't just spawn him there, where no matter what the ability is, whether it's Q, your Q, W, E, and R will all turn into Tibbers, and they'll, like, your abilities will light up, so you can see that you're not going to use your normal ability. This is going to be Tibbers, where you will, like, hit the button, and then you'll launch him out from behind you with this, like, a small cast time, and then he'll land wherever you pick him. The reason it'll be like this instead of him just spawning is because it will add, as they say, like a counterplay option. Like, let's say you get into a fight, you're using your abilities, you're spamming everything you can, and you get to max, and then you just fling Tibbers on them, and then bam, you turn the fight around. Now, this means that each ability she has will be 2 abilities. I think that her ability should stay, as I was saying like before, pretty simplistic in nature, and really this would be more of a mini rework over a full rework. I think her Q should stay around, like, just shooting out a fireball. I guess because of the fact that it restores mana and it scales so well, I think it should actually be like a skill shot instead of a point and click. Because, like, that'll just make it harder for her to farm, because Q is, like, the only... If you're not farming with your Q, you're just being stupid, because it restores the mana if it kills. And it does so much damage, and, like, it scales really well with your AP. So, and because of that, if we're going to keep the scalings the same, we should just turn the Q into a skill shot. Now, whoever gets hit by the skill shot will activate, like, a passive as for, like, Tibbers. Now, this will be the Q for Tibbers, is that if he hits, like, whatever you hit with your fireball will cause Tibbers to go after whoever they are. And if Tibbers auto attacks whoever they are, it will do bonus magic damage. And that'll be like Tibbers Q, which will just be like a passive, basically. Then there will be your W. Now, your W, I don't think should just be like an AoE fire blast in front of you. Like what it isn't like that. I'm not really sure what I entirely want it to be. Maybe... Yeah, but then it'll just be like too similar to like Brand. Because I was going to say maybe like a circle ability like that a lot of other mages have. But then it will be like Xerath's... I think Xerath's W, yeah. And Brand's, I also think W. So it can still stay the same. But that's the ability that I kind of want for you to, like, potentially control Tibbers a little bit. In the... I don't really know. That's when I went to work. Basically, this one I actually want to be, like, an ability that Tibbers also performs. Where... So I guess technically you're not really controlling Tibbers, you're just causing him to use an ability, so I misworded that earlier. But, like, you'll use your W, which let's just keep it at exactly what it is, right? Just incinerate as incinerate is. And then, like, for actual Tibbers, it'll turn into, like, sort of like a Tiamat thing, where just, like, an AoE pulse goes around him, but it will actually be of, like, fire and just, like, do damage. Well, of course, Tiamat does damage, you know what I mean? It'll do ability damage. Ability power. And, yeah. Oh, and Tibbers will also work of, like, if you get hit by someone, they're going to try to go after, but only for, like, so many units away. But if you hit someone, then they'll go after that person farther than that, so many units away, but not, like, too many. Okay, now your E will be, again, pretty similar. So as I was saying, this is more of like a mini rework than like a full-on rework. But it should be more along the lines of like, so you get like little damage resistance on yourself that it does currently. So like resist percentage damage resistant damage is an enemy to attack you. So basically, I want this to work in the way of it gives a like a mini Sunfire cape to Tibbers, but for you it just gives like the shield and damage resist. But it will also link you in Tibbers, causing you to increase your movement speed moving towards Tibbers. So like he'll just be doing AoE around and you'll get the damage resist and then you'll run faster to him, but you will lose the damage that happens to whoever when you are hit. Now, your alt, I just want it to be more of like an Inferno type of ability. And for like Tibbers, it will cause him to go into like a frenzy state, kind of like what happens when Annie dies, which of course that will stay the same with like Tibbers even as her passive, where he'll do bonus damage with each hit, or bonus ability damage with each hit, and he will attack faster, and he will and his movement speed will also increase. But he will also like slowly lose HP. This is when you die, though. When you actually are like doing it with your alt, he will not slowly use HP over time. Or basically, you'll pick an area, and then it will just like fire dam, and then that area will like be consumed by fire, and then it will just like kind of like burst. And then who's ever like bursted will put the passive of your Q with Tibbers, meaning like the first Tibbers hit against them causes bonus damage. Oh, and the W from like Tibbers will count as like a Tibbers auto attack. So like let's say basically you'll want to start with your alt. You'll place that down and then it will burst. It won't burst instantly. It'll have like a 0 cast time, but it will have a duration time, I guess, before it actually like happens. It'll be like kind of like a trap where you place it down and then it bursts like a second later. And then it bursts, puts the passive Tibbers Q thing that you get from Annie's Q, causing like the next hit, as I was saying, to do bonus magic damage. But then, so you activate, so then you shoot your Q in there and blah, 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 and then Tibbers starts to charge in because you hit them, so he wants to hit them. And then when he gets close to them, you just use your W. And what this does is it causes like the Tiamat thing to happen around Tibbers. And because it will be considered a auto attack, it will proc the damage on each person doing bonus damage. You'll then use your E to like run forward. Or you could potentially use your E causing AoE damage to happen around them, but the ability doesn't proc it, or the Q passive like on the person. And then when you get a bit closer, then you use your W, actually damaging them with your W from Annie. Plus, it'll do the Tiamat thing, damaging each one of them with Tibbers. And that's basically how I want it. I would want it to be like the range of Leona's alt. Where, like, the range around you and how big it would be, Annie's alt. Where it would create a little fire circle and then explode exactly like Leona's alt, now that I really think about it. But not like without the slow and the stun. It will not slow, nor will it stun. And basically Annie is losing all of her crowd control, and she will not have her one-shot potential, but she will have she'll still have a pretty high one-shot potential. But she will then be more of like a headcanon with like Tibbers, and just them two will be able to fight multiple battles at once, be able to do both AoE damage and a lot of damage at the same time, plus both of them being defended from her E. It would just generally be a like a good kit. Now, do I think that there should be a little bit of like crowd control in it? Yes. Maybe her Q in general will slow. Like as I was saying, if it's in a skill shot form, it should slow. So you fling that in there, and then they get slowed, and then Tibbers will charge at them and smack them. But then that'll make it like too easy, honestly, to do it. So if anything, I'd want her W to like become a slow. Like that'll stay exactly as it is, but then it will slow in them instead of yeah, it'll just slow them. I think that her Q should like keep the mana regen, by the way, as well, or like mana back off of hitting people, and it will hit first target, meaning minions can potentially block the shot. And like as I was saying, her E will just be more of like a movement speed thing. But this will also lower Annie's capabilities without Tibbers, making her harder to play in general without Tibbers. Now, do I think that this might increase her difficulty to like a 2 ranking? Honestly, yes. Do I want it to? No. And that's what the only thing I really don't like about it is I want Annie to stay as an easier to play champion. But to be truthful, I do want her to be more difficult and add more counterplay than what she is now. I think that her passive, without any of a doubt, should be changed. I think basically the main themes of what I want, or what I would like Riot to do, change her passive so she loses her point and click CC, and change her ult so it has some sort of cast time. Besides that, I'm honestly pretty okay with her kit. Now, would I like to see the kit that I just explained with Tibbers being being like an actual another champion with you? Yes, because that Tibbers is actually like a big part of like her lore and everything, because he is her like her favorite creation, and she is always spending time with him. Plus, like if you look at the skins, they even like gave him a skin for every skin she has, till like because. Well, yeah, I understand, like, yeah, they changed the animations and everything, but that's more than just changing an animation. They straight up, like, gave him a skin every time she gets a skin. Like, and he's in every one of her splash arts. So, like, as you can see, he's a big part of her. And because of this is why I think that, like, he should be more, like, in her kit instead of just being her, alt. So I would like for that to happen and for them to like come up with the kit that I came up with. But I'm not, honestly, I don't think that they would. But like still, if they're going to, I would like that. Now, but as we're saying, like the main recap is just please change her passive so she doesn't have point and click CC, and change her ult so it has some sort of cast time is the main idea. But the kit that I came up with obviously be a better option, or not a better option, a better counterplay and things like that option. And now let's go over his skin. Regular Annie, Goth Annie, which I just this is it's meh, as that's about it. It's basically regular Annie, just black and purple instead of red and red. I love this skin just because of the way it is. I think that they should make Tibbers more of a wolf. They should like turn his skin, like his fur black. Keep him like still like the white belly though. But then like elongate his face a little bit and make his ears bigger and just turn him more like wolf-like instead. That would be cool. I'm fine with Annie in Wonderland, especially because they like turned him into like the rabbit for like I'm late, and the invisible backpack thing. I like this skin. I do think that they succeeded in a lot with Annie skins. Prom Queen Annie. I don't know. I just find it a bit stupid. I don't like the fact that she has a teddy bear and yet he is her teddy bear. But, you know, that's the only thing I don't like about the splash art in game. I think it looks a little creepy in game. I'm not going to lie. And this, I still think it looks a little bit creepy, but still not too fond of it. It's meh. Frostfire, I'm okay with. I wish a bit more with like Tibbers. A little bit. I don't really know entirely what I'm wanting them to add a bit more with Tibbers, but you know, there you go. Reverse. I love this skin. I love this skin. I like the idea that they mixed up the two champions, and I wish that they did this with other champions just besides Annie. Like, I wish that they did it with like Kindred and made like a lamb-looking wolf that flies around, a wolf instead. Oh goodness, like that would be cool. I also wish that they did something like that with Kane. Ooh, make his red form like just blue and looks a bit more peaceful, and make his blue form more red and uh Franken Tibbers Annie. I don't like this skin just because it's its own like brand. It's Franken Tibbers. I wish it was more along the line of just like zombie or like one of those. Um, I get it is like a Halloween skin and all, but like still. I guess I like this the way this skin looks. I like the way that they made Annie into like Frankenstein's wife. If you ever like look at any of that, she has the fur, or she has like the white stripe. I don't know why I went to fur. I like it in that sense, like with the screws and everything. But I don't like just like the name of it. Panda Annie. I actually didn't realize it was called Panda Annie. If anything, I would call it like fireworks or something. I love everything about it. I love the Tibbers. I think it looks as cool as can be. Same with Annie, is exactly what I want it to be. Exactly what I think it should be too. I don't really think it should be called Panda, but Sweetheart is yet again, I think it is exactly how it should be, right on the dot. Hextech, you know, you're gonna hear it again. It's right on the dot. I wish that Annie herself was a bit more robotic, but like I wish that they added like little like lines or like techno line type things going to her eyes like from her face. And that's really all I wish that they added with it. So it just made her seem like she was more of like a synthetic. Um, Super Galaxy Annie, I think looks really cool. I don't like everything about it. I do know like the one animation. I don't like her recall animation. That's for sure. I think it looks cool, but like I just don't like what it is. And yet again, I don't think she fits like the Super Galaxy theme all that much. I guess she does because of the way Tibbers is, but still, I think she'd fit it more if you know you went with the kit I went with making Tibbers more prevalent in her kit. But like most of the Super Galaxy themes for like Kindred and the other ones are like transforming, or when there's two pieces, like it's when it's like two champions in one. Like I think Kane would do well with Super Galaxy, but like the main Super Galaxies are like Gnar, who changes from Little Gnar to Big Gnar. Kindred doesn't actually Fizz have a super. I swear to goodness, if Fizz have a, I think Fizz does have a Super Galaxy. Which, if so, makes me even more upset. You know what? I'm fine with Annie's Super Galaxy just because I think it looks cool. I wish that they added a bit more robotics to her. Or maybe not robotics, I guess a bit more just like complexity with her outfit. But I guess it is fine. Yeah, as I said, it is fine the way it is, but the fact that Fizz has a Super Galaxy is the only reason why I'm, like, the main reason why I'm saying that. But, yeah, I guess as an overview, I just want Tibbers to become more a part of her kit instead of just being, like, her bear that she spawns. I wish that her crowd control was lowered a wee bit with her passive not being a point and click, and I wish that her alt didn't have an instant cast time. I would love for the build I came up with, Tibbers being the passive, or Q being a skill shot, W stays the same, except for with Tibbers, E stays the same, or for the most part, except for with Tibbers, like the added benefits with Tibbers, and then her alt was a completely different thing, which, just goes well with her current ability, with, like, the new kit. But, yeah. So, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like or subscribe. I will always plan on doing like the League of Legends videos every Saturday until I run out of champions, but then I will do them a little while after they are released. Sorry about the burp right there. But yeah. This is definitely going to be a slightly longer one, as I kind of expected it to be, just because I have a lot more to say about this champion, because I hate playing against this champion, and I think this champion is a bit ridiculous. But, yeah, if you happen to know any members of Riot, or you happen to, like, have any reworks or ideas for Annie, or you agree or disagree with any of them, please, like, leave it in the comments. From, like, for everything I just said, if you happen to know the Riot person, like, please tell them of me, or leave them in the comments of a way I can get in contact with them, besides the method of, they have, like, a forum or something where you can leave, like, comments with, like, ideas for reworks and stuff. Like, I don't want that. I don't want to go in there, because then, like, everyone can see it and all. I just don't like the idea of it. So yeah, except for that. But yeah, I will take any constructive criticism as well. If you have anything to add, or like that you disagree with anything that I was saying, go right ahead. I will be glad to have a conversation in the comments with you, unless there's, for whatever reason, this, like, in the future, this video became really popular and there were thousands upon thousands. I cannot get to all of them, but I will get to as many of them as I can. I thank you very much for watching, and I bid you all adieu. Goodbye.